Hello, love bugs. This last update brought us a whole bunch of new stuff, including a ton of new plushies, especially our very first ever bug plushies. There are now 4 different bugs that you can hunt between Kilima and Bahari that have a chance to drop a plushie. Let's talk about what those bugs are and where to find them. Our very first bug is the proud-horned stag beetle. This is the only bug that is in Kilima. You find it by hitting rocks. So this is not going to be a bug that you are going to find using honey lures. It is not a bug that you are going to be able to get in any other way besides hitting rocks and then switching to your bug bombs and going for that catch. Now, just like everything else in Palia, playing with friends is always going to give you a little bit of an advantage. I know for some Switch players, it's really... Oh, I just saw one, but he's hiding. I lost him. He's underneath the rock. Some Switch players have a hard time switching between the different tools that we have to use. So if you're one of those players that has a hard time with that, I highly recommend finding a friend who is willing to run around and hit some rocks with you. That way you get double the chance of you taking on the beetle, and then as long as your friend has gotten it and you're in the same party, now that that has changed, you are both going to be able to get the same loot. So even if you don't get your bombs out fast enough, even if you don't get a bomb on the bug and your friend is able to one-shot it, that's great because you will still get that loot and have a chance of getting the plushie. It's also cool now because the plushie is also shared across both of you. So if your friend finds a plushie, you are also going to find a plushie, which is super cool. And that's actually true across all of these bugs. The proudhorn stag beetle can be found at any time of day, so you do not have to hunt for this guy in any particular time. You can come over to Kilima and hit these rocks to find them whenever you like. As far as best practices as to where this beetle is, it really is just kind of luck of the draw. Sometimes you find it, sometimes you don't. I found it in small nodes. I found it in big nodes. I found it in the copper. I find it in the standard rocks. It really just is about being consistent, running around and hitting everything that you see. There we go. There's one. This is what they look like. They make that little noise as they pop out, and then you can throw your bombs at it. And let's see if we get a plushie from this guy. Man, you're being stubborn. Thank you. Goodness. Well, he did hold a tiger lily flower, so it's not a total loss. But now it's time for us to go on to Bahari. There are 3 bugs right now that can be hunted in Bahari Bay for a plushie, but there's only one that can be hunted at any time of day, and that is the garden ladybug. The garden ladybug is not a bug that you're going to be able to find with your honey lure because you actually have to pick a piece of forage in order to get them to spawn. You can find them in the famous heart drop lilies. You can find it in briar daisies, sun drop lilies like I just picked, bright shrooms, or in the wild garlic. So you're going to be running around and foraging while you are looking for this particular bug. Now, I'm going to try and explain why doing this as a party of 4 is the best way to do it as best as I can. Everyone gets to pick the flower. Each time someone picks the flower, there is a chance to spawn the ladybug. So even though you're standing there and you've pulled it and you didn't get a ladybug, if your friend picks the flower, it might spawn a ladybug. And then you and everyone in your party can catch it. If somebody gets a plushie, everybody gets a plushie. So it is the best way right now to find your garden ladybugs. While you can totally find them solo, like I'm hunting for them right now, and obviously I would totally be able to catch it myself, instead of having only one chance of finding it per each thing that I forage, if you're running around with a group of 4, you would have 4 chances for each flower that you come up that a ladybug is going to spawn, which obviously greatly increases your chance of finding one that has a plushie. Oh my gosh, look at what it is. Hey. What a random... I love when random things happen like this when I'm recording and like we're doing my voiceover at the same time. It's always so exciting. This is one of the rarer bugs in the game. Oh, and it is being fussy. Can she catch it before it runs away? I think she can. Oh. It says, don't be cocky, Ravi. Hello, excuse you. Can you imagine when this finally gets a plushie? I'm going to lose my mind. This is going to be the prettiest plushie in the whole game. Oh my gosh. This is intense. Hey, there we go. We'll always take ourselves a starred fairy mantis. Let's go. Anyway, back to plushie hunting. As you can see, going around just by myself and grabbing all of the different flowers, I still have not found a single ladybug, and it is rare for them to drop the loot, even period. So doing this with a friend, even just one more friend, and increasing yourself, increasing your chance by just double would definitely be a good idea if you have anyone who's willing to run around with you. Here we go, finally. Oh my goodness. So this is what the ladybug looks like, and man, I'm noticing a huge difference compared to when I run around with my friends running around solo. Definitely a much harder bug to find when you are going solo. I really highly recommend running around with the group to give yourself those increased chances. The last two bugs that we are going to be hunting for both have a time constraint. They are only available in Bahari Bay between 6 p.m. and 3 a.m. The first bug has caused a little bit of confusion for people, and it is the paper lantern bug. I know that its picture makes it look like it's blue, but it's not. It is these green bugs right here. They are incredibly plentiful and show up all over Bahari during this time. You seriously can't run around without finding them. They are so easy to hunt down and see, and in my opinion, have the absolute best plushie that has released yet. It glows. It glows. It's beautiful. The other plushie is actually right here, so we're going to go ahead and catch it. That is the lunar fairy moth. It is also very plentiful and very easy to find. If you come over here, especially the north side where I'm at, Bahari, North Bahari, between those times, you are going to find tons of these suckers. Now, that being said, I actually think this is the two bugs that you would find the most value in doing your honey lures for, because doing a honey lure in Kilima right now, you're not going to get those beetles. Doing it in the south side of Bahari, you're not going to get the ladybugs because they're not going to spawn for a honey lure like they would from picking the flowers. But these guys spawn like crazy for a honey lure. And again, honey lures have changed now, just like everything else when you are in a party with your friends. If you are in a party with people doing a honey lure, even if you don't get a bomb on a bug, as long as your party member does, you are still going to get the loot from that bug. So honey lures are incredibly profitable now and a really good way to make gold, but also an excellent way to hunt down your plushies, especially for these particular ones. So the fact that I haven't seen like a million honey lures going during the late hours of Bahari really surprises me, because like I said, A, you're going to make some really good cash for doing that, and B, you're going to have a chance to get plushies. And there's no limit as to how many plushies you can get, just like the Proudhorn, Sernuk, and all the other Sernuk plushies. You can get as many of them as you want. They literally will just keep dropping for you, and you can fill your entire house with plushies if you want to. Or in my case, you can get enough for your arcade, which is what I'm trying to do. So I'm just running through Bahari right now, catching these bugs, and they are just everywhere, as you can see. The lunar moths are a little bit less common, but they're still pretty much everywhere. I actually feel like I find more of those in the south side, but seriously, if you drop a honey lure, you're gonna get a ton of them. And their wings are so like flappy. When you come up on one, they're pretty easy to spot. Like, not only are they, you know, obviously blue and they kind of stand out against the background, but just the way that their wings kind of flap all over the place, it makes them easier to spot, but not as easy to spot as these lantern bugs. They're just so easy to see. My paper lantern plush is my pride and joy. Just look at him glow. Just look at him glow. It's so cute. These are seriously just amazing plushies. I love that this gives us like a little bonus thing to go after in the game. I'm really excited to see what you're all going to come up with to do with all of your plushies. All right, I love you. Bye-bye.